right through explicit analysis.
The best way to security is involvement of citizens in the security process.
Our graduates are not qualified to be employed. Who is graduating them is the government. Right from 1960, Nigeria has a serious problem. Leaders' problem. Nobody loves this country.
Mind-boggling issues bothering Nigeria and beyond.
Number one, I want to say is that governance, we should cut the expenses of governance.
You cannot give reorientation to anybody that is hungry. So what do?
A leader is somebody that has passion for who is leading. Nigerian leaders does not have passion for that. They only have passion for themselves and unborn generation.
69.1% of Nigerians are living below poverty line. What do you do with that statistic?
But if you cannot provide for the many, you cannot protect the few. You wipe out corruption. If we don't do that, I have been saying it, forget it. We can't go anywhere.
Brugami, only for Nigerians. Brugami, setting the pace, keeping the pace, making the system work with apt, potent, and daredevil team of producers and presenters. This is Brugami.
All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Brugami on Vision FM 92.1. Brugami is a flagship program of Vision FM 92.1 that comes to you Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning. So wherever you are, thank you so very much for joining us. My name is O.J. Matthew. I'm the man sitting in for Jasmine Stevens today. And this morning, we shall be talking on this topic: can the fresh immigration recruitment panel conduct hitch-free and credible exercise? That is, can the fresh immigration recruitment panel conduct hitch-free and credible exercise? This is what we'll be looking at this morning on Brugami. And we'll have as guest Ibrahim Mani, a public affairs analyst. And we are expecting Emmanuel Okobiko, a founder, Human Rights Writers Association, also in the studio to do justice to this topic this morning. We'll be right back after this, and when we return, we'll go full swing into the program. All right, welcome back to the show Brugami on Vision FM 92.1. Like we always say on this platform, we want you to adhere to the topic at hand, and when it is time for you to have your say, that is the caller segment at 1:30, please limit your contribution to 2 minutes so that others can also have the opportunity to voice their opinion and ensure that it doesn't exceed that allotted time to you. And please, we want you to be constructive in your comment. You don't have to name names, but just make your point as it's supposed to be. All right. Now that we know the rules, let's now begin the show. But before I read out the prologue to you, already we have Emmanuel Nwobiko in the studio, the founder, Human Rights Writers Association. A very good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Nigeria.
Okay, you're welcome. So we are expecting Ibrahim Mani, a public affairs analyst. We understand that he will soon be here. All right, the Federal Executive Council on Wednesday ordered an immediate cancellation of last Saturday's recruitment exercise into Nigeria Immigration Service, which resulted in death of over 16 applicants and many others injured. President Goodluck Jonathan also constituted a presidential committee to conduct a fresh recruitment exercise into the service. He further directed that for the families of those who lost their dear ones, 3 spaces should be provided for 3 young people, one of whom must be a woman in the new recruitment exercise. He also ordered that all those who were injured in the course of the exercise across the country will be given automatic recruitment into the service. The new recruitment panel, which is to be headed by the chairman of the Federal Civil Service Commission, has the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service and the representatives of the Inspector General of Police. Also included in the panel are also Commandant General of the Nigerian Civil and Security and Civil Defense Corps, Director General of the State Security Service, and Corps Marshal and Chief Executive of the Federal Road Safety Commission as members. Information Minister Labaran Marco, while briefing State House correspondents on the outcome of the meeting of the Federal Executive Council, noted with grief and deep regret the tragic loss of young Nigerians who died in different centers across the country in the ill-fated exercise. The Senate has also ordered its Committee on Interior to investigate the nationwide recruitment exercise of the Nigeria Immigration Service that resulted in the death of some applicants and submit its report in 1 week. The Senate, while regretting the loss of lives and the several injuries sustained by the applicants, mandated the committee to hold a public hearing on the issue within a 1 week ultimatum. The mandate followed a point of order on matter of urgent national importance raised by the chairman, Senate Committee on Interior, Atiku Bagudu. Bagudu said the public hearing is necessary so that Nigerians will follow the process that will eventually lead to any recommendation by the committee. Speaking in the same vein, Senator Ita Enang canvassed that a state of emergency should be declared in the employment sector. All right, like you heard, do you think that kind of fresh immigration recruitment panel conducts a hitch-free and credible exercise? Already in the studio is Emmanuel Nwobiko, founder Human Rights Writers Association. So, Mr. Emmanuel, let's begin the show immediately. What is your take on the last Saturday's unfortunate incident?
Thank you very much. Well, I want to first of all start by commiserating with the families of all those youthful job seekers, our fellow Nigerian citizens who were massacred, while they were, searching for employment, searching for better, corporate model. Let me use the word of the chairman of the National Human Rights Commission, Professor Chidi Odinkalu. It's quite unfortunate. And as everybody would have known by now, that even at the highest hierarchy of governance in this country, the president has already taken some measures. And even though some of us have, divergent opinion regarding the merit and demerit of that, measure or those measures that have been adopted so far by the president, whether it was just mere political measure or whether the measures are very sustainable. So I think, to summarize what happened last Saturday, I can say that it's another chapter in the political annals of Nigeria that has attracted global opprobrium to Nigeria as a country that cannot organize any national event. Apart from political rallies, I think Nigerians have shown a very high propensity for not being able to organize very simple things. Things as simple as organizing, aptitude tests. It's quite unfortunate.
All right, already in the studio, we have Mani Ibrahim Ahmed, our second guest in the studio. Want to say welcome to Brugami.
Thank you and good morning, listeners.
All right, Mani Ibrahim Ahmed is the Deputy Registrar based University Abuja, and he doubles as a public affairs analyst. So what is your take on the March 15 incident at the various centers of the Nigerian Immigration Service across the country?
Yes, just like every right-thinking person has said, there is no doubt about the fact that it was a rather unfortunate situation. Unfortunately so, because it's avoidable. We mustn't be going through this part in the present time, this level in the history of this country. It's clear that things are beginning to reach crescendo level. This type of exercises are commonplace. It's been going on for a while. People have been dying. And maybe this is the time that God wants to put a stop to all of that. It was rather also unfortunate in the sense that the initial comments that followed the incident, particularly the official comments from the minister, were more like adding insult to injury. And certainly one will expect that the action taken by the government was taken because there is no any other way they could have managed such a terrible situation. Like my colleague has said, we expected much more, particularly that these young people were, one, duped, because I don't see any reason why anybody should collect money before they give people opportunities to present themselves as likely candidates for recruitment into any service. They were also duped and cajoled because I checked the website of the Nigerian Immigration Service yesterday. The recruitment was almost an open-ended thing. It's an all-comers affairs. For God's sake, it shouldn't be like that. They did it deliberately to attract the highest numbers of people that will pay those monies to them. I think that is the criminal aspect of what has happened as well. Then you look at the issues that revolves around negligence and the part that shows the ineptitude and incompetence of our system. As a matter of fact, we must see the incident as a wake-up call that the blood of those young people will not certainly go in vain. It certainly must be the rallying point for all of us to be able to push for changes in all realms of human endeavor in Nigeria, because so long as these issues are not addressed properly, we will continue just beating about the bush. And one particular important thing about what happened on Saturday is the fact that the thing was immediately picked up by the social media. It went viral almost immediately. And I will talk more on these issues.
Okay.
But particularly, I will want to say that we have a very potent tool in our hands, particularly in Facebook, in Twitter, and other social media that played a very important role in bringing us to the present situation where we're thinking about mitigation.
All right. We'll talk on that as we progress in the show. Okay, now let's now look at this issue. Can the fresh immigration recruitment panel conduct a hitch-free and credible exercise, Mr. Emmanuel?
Well, first and foremost, I think it's quite a very hasty decision on the part of government to order for a fresh, to set up a panel to conduct another aptitude test when those that perished have yet to be buried. It shows a greater sense of disrespect for the dead. People have died, and among those that have died, some are Christian, some are traditional African, religion adherents. Apart from the Muslims in Nigeria, everybody knows that there are certain traditions, in certain traditional, communities, it takes an average of 2 weeks before the dead is buried. I think the government was quite hasty. They should have waited for the president to constitute a team to even visit and ascertain how many people actually died, because there are quite, the figure is quite speculative.
Okay.
Then secondly, I do not think that something as serious as recruiting personnel into the Nigerian Immigration Service, the strategic role that this agency plays in the lives of Nigeria, in the corporate life of Nigeria. If you get it wrong in getting the right kind of manpower into the Nigerian Immigration Services, you will continue to have an influx of illegal aliens. You will have an influx of people who are not professionals, who will come in, who will get all this expatriate quota. You have a lot of dubious companies in Nigeria who will recruit some roadside mechanics as engineers. That's why you have a lot of infrastructure in Nigeria collapsing. You bring in roadside mechanics from China and the rest of them to fix our railways. That's why the railways are yet to work. So the work of the Nigerian Immigration Service is a serious issue that shouldn't be treated as an ad hoc measure.
All right. Okay, I'll put the same question to Ahmad Ibrahim in a moment, but let's go for a very short break before he reacts to that same question.
Brugami.
Great members of the Brugami family and esteemed listeners of Vision FM.
69.1% of Nigerians are living below poverty line.
Nigerian leaders does not have passion for that.
Our graduates are not qualified to be employed.
Nobody loves this country.
The best way to security is involvement of citizens in the security process.
We should cut the expenses of government.
My name is Ifan Ugoke, producer of Vision FM flagship program Brugami. It is a pleasure to inform you that I have been nominated for the award of Content Producer of the Year and Brugami nominated for the News and Actuality Show of the Year by the organizers of the Abuja Radio Awards 2013. To vote for your favorite content producer, text ARA13, leave a space, type CPY, leave a space, type Ifan Ugoke and send to 33140. And to vote for Brugami as the News and Actuality Show of the Year, text ARA13, leave a space, type NAS, leave a space, type Brugami, Vision FM, and sent to 33140. Dear Brugami listeners, let's bring the award home. Voting has commenced and multiple votes per category is allowed.
This is Brugami.
My name is Senator Ahmed Sani Yariman Bakura, former governor of Zamfara State and serving senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, listening to Brugami on Vision FM 92.1 Abuja.
All right, welcome back to the program Brugami, and this morning we are looking at the topic, can the fresh immigration recruitment panel conduct hitch-free and credible exercise? We have as guest Ahmad Ibrahim Ahmed, a public affairs analyst, and of course the deputy registrar of Bayes University, Abuja. And we have Emmanuel Uwobiko, founder Human Rights Writers Association, also in the studio. All right, back to you, Mani Ibrahim. What is your take on this? Can the fresh immigration recruitment panel conduct a hitch-free and credible exercise from your own perspective?
I think setting up the panel is a bit hasty. I want to believe that we ought to be in a state of national mourning. It's such a tragic thing that happened last Saturday. Now, come to think of it, the same organizations that those members of the ad hoc recruitment panel are coming from are as well guilty of what happened in the immigration, because some of them have organized similar exercises in the past and people have died and absolutely nothing happened. I can remember very well that panels were set around 2008, 2009 after some young people died in the running to be recruited into, I think, 2 or 3 of these organizations that are forming this membership of this recruitment panel. It's something that needs to be looked at from a more holistic point of view. Is the immigration service desperately in need of people that will come in and start work, that if they don't get them in next week or next month, something terrible will happen to the system? I don't think so. And should the immigration service be an all-comers affair? I think maybe there is every need that we don't rush this, and then the government should take its time, study the situation properly, vis-a-vis the common problem that is happening to young people in Nigeria. If you look at the statistics, from the Federal Office of Statistics, they gave a figure of 54% unemployment among youths in Nigeria. This is alarming compared to, say, elsewhere, where the moment employment hits a double digit, it becomes problem elsewhere in the world. You see governments becoming jittery because they have double digit inflation levels. Now, with that kind of figures out there and jumping to want to organize it, certainly a lot of people will still apply as it is, except if the committee decides to use nothing other than merit as the basis for people to qualify for even the recruitment exercise. Now, I will want to think that if there are some guidelines that will streamline this, and then more spaces be open, because the unemployed youths are out there. If they don't get immigration, they will want to rush elsewhere and also be cajoled or duped to be paying that kind of money.
All right, let's now look at the decision of the presidency that from the family of the dead, 3 people should be replaced, and that should include a woman or a lady, and those injured should be recruited automatically. Let's now look at this. Is this also hasty from you guys' perspective?
Certainly, it's hasty in the sense that you know how badly we are in terms of record keeping. I don't think, just like my colleague here has said, anybody knows the exact number of people that died during this process, and I don't think, as I'm talking today, anybody has the exact figure of those that are injured, as in those who had serious injuries or those who just have a little bruise or scratch on their faces. What level of injury are we talking about? Okay. I believe that there is a need for these things to be streamlined before we go out and start making these announcements. And just like someone was saying, it's now going to open us to new spheres of intrigues and possible corruption of the system. You will find people now going to say someone has died from their families when nobody died.
Okay.
And you will find death certificates coming up left, right, and center to justify their claims.
Okay. Emmanuel, your take on this? Hasty too?
I think it's quite hasty. But first of all, let me commend the spirits behind the decision of the president.
Okay.
I think the president was just trying to play the role of a father figure, a father who has humane spirit. But I think by so doing, he was quite hasty in taking that decision. Let's come to it. If you say all those that got injured during the process of the recruitment exercise should be employed, then almost all of them should be employed. Because for you to have witnessed the death of a healthy young man that walked into the stadium for recruitment exercise and he ended up slumping and dying, you must have experienced psychological torture. Almost all the Nigerian youths that turned out for those exercises that took place all across Nigeria got injured, either emotionally, either psychologically, either physically. So let the president open the space for employment so that all of them will be employed, if that is the criterion to be used. Then, secondly, have we studied the environment properly? Supposing, let's take for instance, if Mr. A, family A, does not have any other person, if that person that died is the only breadwinner, are you going to employ the mother and the father? Probably if the mother and the father, the parents, are in their 80s, are they going to join the immigration service? I think what the government should have done was first, fire the Minister of Interior, arrest him first, fire him from his job, arrest him, take him to court, try him for corporate murder or for negligence that occasioned the death of those youths. Then the consulting firm should be dragged to court. They are also liable. They should pay through their nose. I'm sure if it's in a civilized society, by now that company would have been getting ready to fold up because of claims and counter-claims from people that died. Then secondly, it has emerged that the Nigerian Immigration Service never took part in the planning, in the actual exercise that happened. That it was the politicians that hijacked the process.
Okay. All right. Ahmad Ibrahim, how can the death of applicants during the recruitment exercise be averted in our country?
Yeah, I think we should be more transparent in all the things we're doing. Particularly, the immigration service have been problematic over the years. If you recall, the last Controller General of the Immigration Service, Rose Chinyere, got the boots because of a similar recruitment scandal where slots were sold for between 200,000 to 500,000 naira for people to come into the immigration service. Even with this, it is not as if the immigration service is not necessarily involved in the process, because we have read in the newspapers that of the 5,000 slots that were available for recruitment into the immigration service, they have distributed almost 470 to top government officials, to people in the legislature and so on. So it's so painful and so pathetic that they will collect money from 600,000 people for just about 240 places in the immigration service. This is scandalous. And this is what I think the panel set up by the government to look into this must focus on. I agree with my colleague here.
On the issue of the sack of the interior minister?
Yes, and why should they do such a scandalous thing? I agree with him that the minister shouldn't be there as I'm talking to you today, no matter who is behind him. And I don't think the Controller General of David Paradang should also be in office or be a member of this new ad hoc committee that is coming in. That they have so much blood stains on them. Let them just step aside and allow people who really know what is expected, that is going by the general mood of the country. Most people you will talk to are agreeing. There's a general consensus in Nigeria today that the minister and the head of the immigration service ought not to be there as we're talking to you today. Now, what else can the government do? Truly, they need to open up the spaces. They need to open up the spaces. If you look at what is happening year in, year out, that almost 2/3 of budgetary expenses go on into the recurrent expenditure in terms of servicing the salaries and allowances of people who are in office, either top government officials and politicians that take the chunk of that money, then you will realize that unemployment will continue to be the order of the day. Elsewhere, where government wants to create employment, there is a lot of money being voted for capital expenditure. So that there are a lot of new projects, a lot of infrastructural development that will now provide employment for young people. Where such things are available, young people can come in through the public works scheme and be part of these projects. These are developmental projects, and at the same time people are getting employed. Now, we also need to look at the whole system of education in the country. I'm from the university system. Now, we must, in the medium and long term, try to look at the possibility of truly re-engineering the education system so that young people can leave the university and be true employers of labor on their own. That this entrepreneurial spirit is built in young people as they are in the university. Nigerians are never lazy people, and the opportunities are there. The resources readily available. So we need to look at these possibilities. There are a lot of things that can be done. For example, the education tax fund can come in through special programs to promote entrepreneurship or the training of young people in certain skills that will help them to be able to be on their own. The issue of stressing on this paper qualification and everybody wanting to go into government to work and nobody wants to do anything to help themselves is truly a very, very, very big canister of gunpowder that is waiting out there to explode, and nobody wants that at all.
All right. Okay. So, you're trying to give us the the solution to how to solve the unemployment issue in Nigeria. You're listening live to Brugami on Vision FM 92.1, and we've been looking at this topic this morning. Can the fresh immigration recruitment panel conduct a hitch-free and credible exercise? And in the studio, you've been listening to the voices of Ibrahim Mani, a deputy registrar from Bayes University, Abuja, and of course a public affairs analyst, and Emmanuel Nwobiko, the founder Human Rights Writers Association. When we come back from the break, it will be your turn to have your say on the program. Just stand by for that. We'll be right back.
Brugami.
Great members of the Brugami family and esteemed listeners of Vision FM.
69.1% of Nigerians are living below poverty.
Nigerian leaders does not have passion for that.
Our graduates are not qualified to be employed.
Nobody loves this country.
The best way to security is involvement of citizens in the security process.
It cuts the expenses of government.
My name is Ifan Ugoke, producer of Vision FM flagship program Brugami. It is a pleasure to inform you that I have been nominated for the award of Content Producer of the Year and Brugami nominated for the News and Actuality Show of the Year by the organizers of the Abuja Radio Awards 2013. To vote for your favorite content producer, text ARA13, leave a space, type CPY, leave a space, type Ifan Ugoke, and send to 33140. And to vote for Brugami as the News and Actuality Show of the Year, text ARA13, leave a space, type NAS, leave a space, type Brugami, Vision FM, and sent to 33140. Dear Brugami listeners, let's bring the award home. Voting has commenced and multiple votes per category is allowed.
This is Brugami.
Okay, you welcome back to the show. This is Brugami on Vision FM 92.1 Abuja, and this is the caller segment right now. 0709-8212-746, 070-553-66921 are the numbers for you to dial and call us and have your say on this issue this morning. Can a fresh immigration recruitment panel conduct hitch-free and credible exercise? That is what we are looking at this morning. Please, you have 2 minutes maximum time to make your contribution. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
Oh, my name is Mohammed Agiri from Vikawa.
Okay.
I want to say what is happening is very unfortunate, and I want to say what has happened has happened. But as it is, I don't think Civil Service Commission will be able to conduct a free hinge screening exercise. And my reason is this. How do you expect an organization to conduct exams for over 50,000 people to ascertain just 4,500 people? The number is too high for you to ascertain qualitative. Over 50,000 people just to get 4,500 workers. I don't see that there's not any parameters. There's not any tools you are going to do to bring out the best. And secondly, the Civil Service Commission today they are handling this responsibility. Do you know how many files of unemployed graduates that are lying down in those ministries over the years? So the question is, the chances of immigration, Minister of Interior, to bring his own people has failed today. Now he has been transferred to Nigerian Civil Service Commission. Civil Service Commission are going to use that as an advantage to bring their own people. It has become a nature in this country. And secondly, I've heard the federal government saying they are going to consider people that are injured. How many people that the federal government know that they are injured in this exercise? How many of them went to the hospital? How many of them can they ascertain their records? I want to assure you, if they are going to consider people that are injured, the people that are injured in this exercise out of the 50,000, maybe more than 4,500 to inspire the immigration.
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution. We have noted your contribution this morning. God bless you for that. And we have another call on the line. Good morning.
Hello, Mr. Jal. Good morning.
Yes, this is OJ on the show this morning.
Yeah, good morning. I'm Chris Chamba Sanga calling from Otabali, Baba Electric, Nasarawa State.
Okay.
I don't think the exercise is going to be credible. Why I say so? Because like we now, I'm talking to you now, we are interested of that job, and we don't know minister, we don't know senator, we don't know governor, we don't know local government chairman, we don't know any director in the offices. And if they really want to make it very credible election, if you want to make it credible, let them open it openly. Let them forget about the senators and the ministers and the directors. What of we that we don't know anybody? So the only thing we are praying in this country is good leadership. What is happening in this country now? One, tribalism, selfish, and what do I call it? So thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for your take on this. Okay, you have the opportunity to have your say by sending us a text message to 33538. That's 33538. If you send to that SMS portal, we will surely acknowledge that also. Okay. Hello. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hello. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Welcome to the program.
My name is Isa Bala. I am calling from Apu today.
Pardon? Your name is who?
Isa Bala.
Isa Bala. Okay.
Calling from Apu. Yes, you are discussing a very critical topic today. It's a very good topic. And I will say that the way things is going in this country is suffering me. We are taking things so high. The minister, Abamoro, as we speak right now, is still on power, taking his tea and making us the way he likes. If another minister come from a state of APC, he could have been dismissed by now or sacked. So why not do something good for once? He's responsible for the keep of the death of those young youth. Those people, he's responsible for their death. He should resign before anything. All these communities setting up, a lot of committees have been set up before, no one is working. You see, when you reach people about 4,000 and something and you are selling a form of 700 and something thousand, it's fraud. One. Let's come to talk about it. The senators have their list and the House of Reps have their list. The President Wife has his list. Governor has their list and any has their list. How many people will be left for them to employ?
Okay, let's now look at the panel that has been set up. Do you think that this fresh immigration recruitment panel can conduct a hitch-free and credible exercise?
Yes, I can agree with that. Yes, they can conduct. They have been conducting before. This is not the first time. They've been conducting before, and it has never happened the way it happened this time around. Because the minister takes everything upon himself to do it alone, because he has a hidden agenda, and that is why we're involved in this. They can conduct it. They have been doing it before. It's not as much as this. So they have need them to do their work the way they wanted it. There's a report who said the bodies said they will do it, they can do it. And he said no. He said he wants to do it on his own, and he is a good citizen. He knows what is going on. At the end of the day, what we are seeing is blood flowing everywhere. We are praying for all this kind of threats to stop. Nigeria, we are in problem. Boko Haram killing, everyone else killing, immigration also killing. Things are falling apart. God help Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much. Our guest in the studio will surely react to all of your comments right here before the end of the show. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
This is Ahmad Ibrahim from Kotaramo. I was just here. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
The first thing I want to condolence some people that they lost their life from this exercise for getting work. You can see this is showing us that we didn't have a good government. Because if you have a good government, I didn't see the reason why you call people to come and employ and people they are dying. So this government, if you call them to another name, they will say that we didn't do good thing for them. It is them they are plotting. This is government, losing of life is too much. Exercise of saying that they put committee, it cannot solve the matter. The only thing we want to call the attention of National Assembly. Those people that they lost their life, they should tell the government they should pay them. They should pay them. They should consider them with their family. You know, some of them maybe they have work, they have children. So the only thing government they should pay them. Secondly, if they know that this employment that you are talking, if you didn't have any person in National Assembly or minister or governor or emir, you cannot get employment in this country. All these things that they call people is deceiver. You know this thing. Everybody know. Please, this government, they should do things for these people that they lost their life. This is my contribution this morning. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And a quick one on our SMS portal. If I were Mr. President, I would first sack the minister and parade him to court, compensate the death victims, and first employ the competent injured candidates. This one is from Suleiman Adamujere from Asokoro. Good morning to you.
Yes, good morning.
You're welcome.
Yes, good morning, the resource persons in the studio.
Good morning.
Once again, Comrade Fire Baron is my name, calling from Central Business District.
All right. You have 2 minutes.
As a matter of fact, we all know that in this country, things never, people, we don't get things right. In the sense that some of the institutions are built on nepotism, federalism, as you can name it. We have it in this country that in the very exercise that just caused this very national tragedy, Mr. President, the Commander-in-Chief also have a slot, the First Lady have a slot, the Senate President have a slot, the Vice President have a slot, the Speaker of the House of Representatives have a slot, Statistics State Governor of Nigeria have slots, Deputy Directors and Directors in military have slots, any of Albans in this country and Igbos have slots. The head of immigration also have a slot. Ministers have slots. The question you will need to ask is that what is the number of people that are required to be recruited in the immigration service? So that is to say that the purpose of which the exercise was really set for is defeated ab initio. That is to say, now we also have another issue at hand, whereby a president in legal jurisprudence that says Nemo Judas Ikasasua is taking place to the point whereby minister is part of the committee, the head of immigration is part of it. How can that be a judge if they are okay? So automatically I can say that in film industry that the exercise is called, this exercise is purely called art and make believe. So it's purely an art. So they are just acting a particular script of which there is no employment anywhere. People have been employed already. And by constituting this very committee once again, that is to say that it's to boost people that those people that are going to sit in that panel, they also have unemployed members of their family that their names will later be shortlisted. Where are we going to in this country? Until we call a spade, because the crowd in National Stadium is a threat to Nigerian national democracy, is a threat to the unity of this country, because if those people decided that day to march to take over government, I can tell you, irrespective of how they turn the power of gun to these people, the international community will definitely intervene. Out of 60,000, before you can keep 40,000, automatically after all will be taken over. So please, government should rise up and arrest unemployment. And this idea of everybody having slots for unemployment should be free. They should cut that nonsense out so that Nigerians, we should have equal rights in this country. Thank you and God bless you.
All right, Aboyemi, thank you very, very much for that. I want to clarify the insinuation from you that the minister is a part of the panel. He is not. We have the Federal Civil Service Commission. We have the Comptroller General of the Immigration and, of course, the representatives of the Inspector General of Police in that panel. And, of course, we have in the panel Commander General of the NSCDC, the Director General of the State Security Service, and, of course, the Corps Marshal and the Chief Executive of the Federal Road Safety Commission as members. So the minister is not part of the panel. So the big question is, do you think that can the fresh immigration recruitment panel conduct a hitch-free and credible exercise? And I have a quick text message here that says, is giving automatic jobs to victims of the stampede a solution? What about the teeming unemployed youth? This one is from Victor Salihu from Lugbe, Abuja. We have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
You're welcome.
My name is Victor Veshmatov and I'm calling from Sun City.
Okay.
say my regards to our guest. He said something about some Nigerians paying money for their rights. It's not happening only in the immigration. What of the army? What of Navy? What of those students that apply for JAM after your cut-off month? You still buy articles, you go and pay money in the banks, 2.5 or above. That aside, it's very unfortunate that things happen in the wrong way, that some people die. But we Nigerians, we have to be patient. When they say stop, you need to stop. If the gate is not open, please wait for the gate to be open. If you go to a traffic light, some people driving, you will see a traffic controller stop some drivers. They will still continue and forbid that. Listen, coming to the issue now, in the education sector, we have been on strike for more than 7 months now. Senators, the Senate Committee on Education, led by Senator Chukwumerije, told our lecturers to go back to classroom. They will settle the matter. After then, those people went back for like 2 months, no response. They embarked on strike again. Since October up till now, nobody has been saying anything about it. And we, the Polytechnic students now, decide to protest. And God forbid, maybe police, they usually,
Yeah, hello. It's like you are deviating from the topic of the day. I understand. Maybe you are giving a preamble, but let's now focus on today's topic. What's your take on this, please?
Oh my God. Sorry, I'll go back.
I understand your plight. It appears a Polytechnic student who is actually tired of staying at home. We'll surely treat your issue here on the show. Please just give us opportunity to do that for you, to have the platform to address your situation. All right, and we have a text message here from Innocent from Caro. He says, I suggest that all the paramilitary organizations declare their vacancies and the recruitment take place on the same day. This will take care of the candidates' upsurge, as no one attends to at a time. Okay, and of course we got another one here. My name is Ahmad Ibrahim from Okene in Kogi State. What I see is that Nigeria is not well organized. Nigeria is a bastardized country and all that. Okay, that's your own opinion on this. And quickly, another one from Zainab Suleiman from Wuse says this exercise has exposed the Nigeria authority of their lies. May God help this country. Thank you so very much. And one more call or thereabouts before our guest reacts to all your comments. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, please turn down the volume on your radio.
Thank you. My name is Ahmad Ibrahim. I'm calling from Apo.
Okay.
This situation we are having at hand essentially is that there is a deep rift in the employment situation we are having in this country. And the federal government should do something to address this situation. And then the second issue of them setting another panel, they are still creating another problem. How much does those people spend in time, in money, in transportation to come to the interview centers? And now the government, instead of correcting what has happened, it is good that they get employment to those that died or they were injured. But why are the government again setting another panel and calling for the interview again? They are creating another problem again, instead of creating a solution. The interview has been conducted. Where it has not been conducted, that's where, like Lagos, they say they haven't finished. That's where you now put good measures and conduct the interview. But by cancelling the interview, the government make a very wrong decision, because they are still creating another problem. How much is it going to cost just people to do the interview again? As somebody suggested, let there be declaration of all the vacancies we are having, so that there will be a chance for people to get employed. At the same time, where you have employment of 5,000, is it not a shame? You have employment of less than 5,000 and over 500,000 people are now applying. That is 1 out of every 100. It is very, very bad. The government should look at this situation. And one issue that has to be corrected is that there is a board that is responsible for employment under the Immigration Service, which is the Nigerian Immigration, Civil Defense and Fire Service Board. Those are the ones that are responsible for that conduct of the interview. And civil service may not be capable of conducting that interview, because this is an interview that has to do with physical, apart from the paperwork. So it is better if this thing is conducted by the paramilitary instead of this board that the federal government has set. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very, very much. And a text message from Mohammed Modibo from Cuba says the panel will at least, we should be optimistic with our system in order to encourage them to do the right thing. As well, proper conduct is what is lacking in us. Unless and until we make our mind set to do things right, that's when we will get things right. Okay, Mohammed Modibo from Cuba. Okay, our guests, you've heard Nigerians talk or reacted to this topic. From you, Mr. Manuel, what's your take from the various contributions we've heard so far?
Yeah, first and foremost, I was happy that somebody was able to observe that it didn't just take place in the immigration service. The Nigerians are taxed, defrauded, like what my fellow speaker here had just said. It is morally incorrect. It is illegal to charge Nigerians to gain employment in Nigeria. It is even a grave threat to national security to charge young Nigerians to join either the army, either the police, or whatever military or paramilitary agency of government. Because if I pay to join the police, the first thing I will do is to first of all mount a roadblock and recover my investment. It has become an investment. So government should discourage this criminal act of charging Nigerian youths for employment. Secondly, government has to disband this committee. Government also has to look into the mechanism for the recruitment that have taken place over the years. How we have Nigerian Immigration Service, it's been in existence for quite some time. How have they been able to recruit their personnel? They should use that process. If there are irregularities somewhere along the line, they should sanitize it properly. Then thirdly, no one that has committed either willfully or unknowingly an act of treachery and corporate negligence that resulted in the death of Nigerians should go scot-free. Anybody who contributed to this national disaster that happened on Saturday must be arrested, must be prosecuted, must be sanctioned. And the consultancy firm that got the contract that messed up this recruitment exercise must be made to pay through their nose for every life that has been lost, for every injury that was sustained during this exercise. That is the only way we can get it right. This practice of always setting up ad hoc committees is not sustainable. There has to be a policy in place, a national policy in place for whatever we're going to do in this country. You don't just wake up overnight, set up a committee. That's not how to run a country.
All right, Ahmad Ibrahim, your reaction to the calls?
Yes, one thing resonated all through the calls. That is the fact that the minister must go. It is expected that if he is the honorable minister that he is supposed to be, he ought to have resigned honorably. And if we are truly a people of conscience, then he must be made to either resign or be fired, because there is nothing short of that will certainly calm the situation the way it is. And then when it comes to employment, in the past, I remember very well, some of these paramilitary and military organizations have certain guidelines and criteria that they follow when it comes to employment. There are age brackets. They can say 18 to maybe 25. So for you to come in, you have to be within that age bracket. There are issues of height from 1.5 to 1.6 meters, as the case may be. There are also issues about chest span and things like that. So you need to qualify in the first place before you can apply. And then they can now restrict it to maybe those disciplines that are related to the immigration service, maybe things like geography and other courses that are related to humanities. And then when they are through with this, their officers, they can now look at how they can bring in other professionals into the immigration service. maybe computer scientists now. They can bring in their mechanical engineers now. They can bring in their doctors and so on, so that these things are done in phases, and there are definite criteria in terms of experience and so on that is put, so that you don't have this kind of ridiculous and crazy number of people applying for very few spaces. And now once this criteria is established, and then we make it transparent enough that people who are coming in purely based on merit. So long as this issue of godfatherism and receiving notes and so on becomes the order of the day, there is nothing that will ever change in terms of our aspiration to make this country a better place, particularly in this area. And then, like I've said earlier, we mustn't all work in government. There should be other opportunities for young people to be able to do all sorts of things. The government is saying that they have been able to create 1.6 million jobs. Okay, let's believe them that they have done that, but it's not enough. If you have created 1.6 million jobs and we're having this kind of problems, it means that we need more jobs. So the effort must be sustained in such a way that young people are given something to do. Like my colleague have said here, it is a very, very serious security problem. If they are there and they are not doing anything, one day it may all boomerang.
All right, let's quickly look at the issue of the reaction of the Senate in 60 seconds each, please. How do you see the reaction of the Senate? In a week time or so, we're expecting their report, and public hearing on this issue will then begin and all that. So is this still another exercise that Nigerians should not trust, or what?
Yeah, I just hope that the Senate is not blowing hot air, as usual. How many probes and whatever panels have they set up that ends up into nuts? We just hope that this time around they will listen to the people of this country and give some backing to what is expected in terms of the fact that just like my colleague said, that people take responsibility and receive punishment for this careless thing that has happened to the lives of our young people.
Emmanuel,
Thank you very
your
much.
reaction.
Let me adopt totally what my colleague has just said. Then in addition to that, I also tax the media. You should also challenge the state government. It's not just the federal government that has to provide employment opportunities or should create the enabling environment. In fact, in most countries of the world, it's the private sector that absorbs the majority of those that are jobless. Government at both the center and at the federating units should create the enabling environment to provide employment opportunities for all Nigerians.
All right, thank you very much. And a quick text message here. First and foremost, the bad eggs behind the sham conduct of the NIS should be dismissed to show as a deterrent to the next conductors of the said exercise. Secondly, if several thousands of Nigerians can apply for the limited space in NIS, then the 15 years of PDP in power is not helping matters employment-wise. Therefore, we should wise up and dust up our voters' card against them in 2015 as they are enjoying doing things to the contrary. This one is from Laji Abbas from Area 1. Okay, what's a reaction there? And another one here says the paramilitary services should be granted an autonomy to status and be allowed to do their things undisturbed by the Minister Mohammed Baba Kuje from Kuje. And the last but not the least, the new panel can do the job if the so-called senators and other slaughters allow it to work. Thanks, Adeloye from Iyara in Kogi State, sending us that message. I think I have this one here that says, please, Mr. President, should please look at the rates of people losing their life and do something about it. They are all Nigerians and we love them. Ahmad Ibrahim from Zone 4. Thank you so very much for the avalanche of those text messages. And special thanks to our guest who actually did justice to the topic today. My thanks goes to Ibrahim Mani, who is the Deputy Registrar, Bayes University here in Abuja. Thank you so very much for coming, sir.
Thank you.
All right, and of course, not forgetting Emmanuel Omubiko, founder Human Rights Writers Association. Thank you for a very wonderful job.
Thank you very much.
And not forgetting the producer of the show, Ifeanyi Ugoke. Thank you so very much for your work. We hope that you will be preparing for the Monday edition. My name is OJ Matthew, and thank you for listening to Brugami. Brugami will make a return again on Monday at same time, 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning. But don't forget, on Sunday at 8 o'clock in the morning, you'll get to listen to the summary of all the topics that you have heard or missed during the week. We call it Brugami at a glance. So join us on Sunday for that 8 o'clock in the morning to listen to the summary of Brugami. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. My name is OJ Matthew, and have a wonderful day ahead of you.